Okay, it is S from A New Plan, making this video for the second time. Excuse my little inky finger, but I guess that's kind of par for the course for what we're doing. So I did not do a video for all days of the Inkvent 2023. So I'm gonna do a video now sort of doing a recap of the whole experience and give you some my impressions, thoughts about things, and then we'll talk about maybe I'll say my favorites, and then just some other things in terms of the experience, some of the equipment that I used, and some of my thoughts. Okay, so let's go day by day. I used the Wearing Buell ink swatching cards. So let's take a look at day one. And my neighbor is making as much noise as possible. So day one is Fortune's Gold. I thought that was a nice one. It's nice to have a darker gold that you can actually read. You know, if you do a whole page of text, it will probably have some nice darker elements so that it would be more visible or legible. I'm probably going to say I like all of them because I feel like unless you have a color that you absolutely hate or there's some element to it that's not, makes it not a good ink, like it feathers a lot or clogs up your pen or something like that, then there's a usefulness for all of the inks. And I know that there are folks who use them for fountain pen writing. And then there are a lot of artists I learned through this process that use these inks for shading like a page and then putting text on top of that. So there's a usefulness for all of these inks. So, you know, I feel like there's no real bad ink per se. Maybe as I learn more, my mind will change about that. But here's day one, Diamine's Fortune's Gold. Got a little wet on that part. Day one. Okay. And for day two, here is the Cashmere Rose. I really love rosy colors. I like burgundies and magenta kind of colors too. We'll talk about some of that as we go along. I feel like it's a really nice contrast color for me, for my eye. Like if I have a whole page of black text, then I like to maybe check off my to-dos or things like that with a contrasting color. And this is sort of one of those that I like. Looks like it might feather slightly. That's just one thing to take into consideration. And here is Early Dusk, a nice blue. So far, 3 very different colors coming out the gate. I thought that was a nice dark blue. And then we've got Masquerade. This is one of the ones that I actually swatched twice. I did that for some of them because I felt like I wanted to make sure that I got an impression of the lighter elements. Sometimes it would sort of spread and then just the shimmer would really come through, but I wanted to sort of show some of the elements of the shading as well. So I did that one twice for day 4. And day 5, Nightfall. I know this was a really big popular one. This is one of those shades where I would consider what I would call a black alternative, meaning that it's not black, but it's a really nice dark shade that even if you wanted to do some writing with a darker color, this would be good. And then of course it's got a lot of that, looks like green sort of shimmer to it also. Okay, so here is day 6, Bucks Fizz. I did 2 swatches of this one also, same reason. Here I wanted to make sure I got some lighter elements of it. I know now that Bucks Fizz is a drink. I didn't know what it was at first. But I thought that was a really different color. And I have, now I have a TWSBI ALR in Prussian blue. And I had wanted something like this to ink it up with. Have another ink kind of similar in it. But I wanted to try this one and see how that works too. I kind of like the idea of the contrast of this kind of color with the blue parts of the pen. I just think those are an interesting combination for a demonstrator pen too. So that's day 6. Now day 7. I love the color of Sweet Dreams, but this is like Farrah Fawcett Feather City, as you can see. And so that's just something to take into consideration. It wouldn't be a great idea for a lot of writing, I don't think, unless maybe a different pen combination would be helpful. And then here's day 8, Jacaranda. I'm usually like more of a purple, like a what I would call a straight up purple person. This is more lavender, especially the lighter elements, but I do like the color. And then again, another 2 attempt day on day 9 with Moonbeam. Beautiful shading there. I mean, shimmer there. And maybe I'm like looking at it, just the cards. I can't remember which ones are called shimmer and which ones were called chameleon. So I didn't consistently put that on my card. So that's something that I would have done differently. But there's that one for day 9. Day 10, Velvet Emerald. This is standard. I actually remembered it on that day. Looks like it might do a little bit of feathering, kind of spread a little bit. I thought that was very interesting sort of color combination. So the kind of emerald green with like, looks like some sort of red element to it also. And then here's Glacier. Very different. I wonder how that would perform in a pen. Probably would have to use a bold or something like that to not clog things up, but okay. And then here is Bah Humbug. I've seen online, this is like one of the most popular shades, and I know why. I can see why. Nice shimmer to it, and I like, as I said, I kind of like this kind of burgundy magenta kind of thing, so I like that color. Okay, day 13, looks like some kind of feathering, Weeping Willow, but that's nice, kind of sort of like lighter brown. And day 14, Rainbow's End, a nice purple with some shimmer, and I guess I want to say brown elements to it also. Walnut, another sort of black alternative, I would say. But I guess there are black walnuts, so maybe that's kind of dried down really dark. Okay. And then I actually have this one, Merry and Bright, inked up in one of my pens. I like it. I thought it was very like festive, very appropriate for the season. But I thought that was a pretty green, shimmery green. And then here is Lavender Frost. I was kind of thinking I would like to have one of my pens with maybe like a gray sort of ink. But I think this might be a good alternative to that, like something maybe for my planner where it's not black, but it's something slightly lighter. And then some of it kind of dries down a little bit dark, but I thought that might be a nice alternative for that. So I might use this one for that. And then Blizzard, kind of similar to Glacier, somewhat. Oh, that was a nice one too. Now day 19, Cinnabon. Oh boy. Nice brown color, but I mean, feather on feather. So again, this might be something someone would use to maybe create background color or use it like a paint or something like that, because it really does feather quite a bit. And then we got Astral. I kind of accidentally touched it here for day 20. I thought that was really interesting. Like a black with green shimmer. Tranquility for day 21. I like this one. I like, again, the sort of purpley magenta kind of deal. So I like that. Now, I was very excited for day 22. I think this is one of my favorites because I was like, okay, I'm really ready for a red. Just for the holiday season. So I thought that was a really nice shimmery red. And then I got really surprised because the very next day, day 23, with Fireside Snug, which I like also, is a different red, not like shimmery, and sort of more what I would call like a true red also. So I really do like both of these. And so I thought that was kind of funny. I wonder what the conversation was at the company with Diamine about, like, okay, well, they were probably waiting for their red for day 22, and then here's a day 23 red also. So I thought that was kind of funny. Then day 24 was Sugar Snap, Like this one also sort of a shimmery green, a couple greens. And then day 25, Raise the Glass. Now, I do have to say, I do have this one next to me. I have to say, at the end, I was so excited when I got up this morning to check out day 25 and the full 30 milliliter bottle. I was trying to take bets with myself, like what do I think the color is going to be? And I thought, okay, well, we have a lot of like purpley things. We have some greens, we have some blues, finally got those reds. I thought this was going to be another gold. I thought we were going to start with gold and end with another kind of gold, or like a very silvery, shimmery kind of thing. When I saw Raise a Glass, I thought, okay, maybe like a champagne kind of thing. And then we get another purple, and I love it, but I was a little surprised. And then I do want to show you, see, day 25, I made a note to myself, and then days 21, and then let me see, now my things are all out of order. Okay, day 14, day 12, and day 8. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. I kind of feel like these are kind of same family. And I thought it was interesting that I mean, there's going to be 25 colors. So obviously, there's going to be some kind of repeats in the same kind of color family. But I just thought it was interesting that day 25 would be this color, given that we've got all of these things. But then again, I guess I don't work for the Diamine company, so I guess that's just what it is. But they're all nice colors. But I just thought that was interesting. I thought maybe the last day would be something very, very different. But I do feel like these are some of my favorites. So I do like the Tranquility, like Bah Humbug. And then, of course, I said these two reds were favorites too. So yeah, I mean, I like them all, but I think those are probably my favorites. If this didn't feather so much, I'd probably say that was a favorite. But yeah, that was my experience with those. Okay, so a couple other things. So I had to finally get a utility knife because these things are so hard to open. And I guess, I mean, obviously that's for security reasons, so it's a good thing, but they were tough getting into, so I finally had to use that. And then initially I was using paint brushes for the swatching, but that didn't really work. I mean, I'm not an artist, so I don't, or per se, so maybe I'm not so familiar with paint brushes, but they start to kind of fray, and it was sort of hard putting them into the bottle, and they were kind of frayed out like that, and I didn't really love that. So I stopped using that and went back to using the Q-tips. By the way, I'm surprised no one has come up yet with one of the pen companies selling an alternative to the Q-tips, or their own version of the Q-tips, but that's probably coming soon. So I often just used this dip pen and then also this glass dip one. Kind of used this one initially and then started using this one more often. So so that's what I used, but I think overall it was a good experience. I was really excited. I didn't spoil it. I didn't watch all of the spoiler alert, the videos with spoilers. I got a couple spoilers when I went on Instagram or things like that later in the day if I got busy and didn't open it, myself. So, but overall I tried to be surprised, especially this last day. And so I thought it was a great experience, wonderful experience to get some exposure to some new inks in smaller bottles, and my understanding is that this is how the company determines what will be the inks coming for next year. I think I'm not sure how many or which one of these will be permanent. I know that there were some from last year that were very popular, and so maybe those are the ones that become sold for the year, but I have to look more into that. There's definitely some that I intend to buy. Like I intend to buy kind of the favorites, like the Tinsel and Fireside Snug, and probably Bah Humbug or Tranquility I'll probably purchase. Yeah, but I really did like the experience, and so thanks for watching.